Notably, while we are considering H.R. 840, released important new data on homelessness. First, the number of chronically homeless people living in the nation's streets and shelters has dropped by about 30% in the last 2 years. This impressive reduction of people stuck in the homeless system for literally years at a time is largely the result of targeting a portion of HUD McKinney-Vento resources over the last decade to an effective intervention, permanent supportive housing. Therefore, in reauthorizing these programs, we wanted to make sure not to lose this focus in HUD's homeless programs. Unfortunately, HUD also reported a more discouraging statistic that fully 1.6 million people experienced homelessness over the course of the year studied.
Time has expired.
Mr. Speaker, I would yield another 2 minutes to the gentlelady.
Gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Too many of these are families with children. Over time, we have learned that the best way to stop family homelessness is to prevent families from having to enter the homeless system at all, and to move those who do enter it back into permanent housing as quickly as possible. In reauthorization, then, we also wanted to increase resources available to homeless and at-risk families. H.R. 7221 strikes the right balance between these two goals. In terms of permanent supportive housing, the bill ensures a continued commitment to this intervention, both by setting a floor on the annual investment HUD must make to new permanent supportive housing, and equally importantly, places the renewal funding of rental assistance and operating subsidies to existing permanent supportive housing on firm footing. With respect to homeless families and children, the bill first revolutionizes the approach of HUD's Formula ESG program grant. Today, this program receives only 10% of the annual appropriation, and a mere third of that, about 3% of the total appropriation, can be spent on homeless prevention. The solution program created by this bill emphasizes the solution we know works, namely homelessness prevention. Therefore, a minimum of half of the now 20% of the annual appropriation dedicated to the new ESG program must be spent on homelessness prevention. That is, on households that don't fall into the HUD definition of homelessness. Second, H.R. 7221 expands the definition of homelessness to include doubled up and other poorly housed families who face the loss of their current housing within the next 2 weeks, as well as clarifying that anyone fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence or another dangerous condition is to be considered homeless. Finally, as a result of our discussion after markup, we have also included doubled up and otherwise poorly housed families who have not lived independently for a period of time, have undergone a series of moves that harm children, and I yield back the balance of my time, and I thank you very much for the time.